Welcome back, Dulce.
Thank you. Thank you.
I saw you drop a little something on your way in here and then pick it up clearly. What was that you had in your
It
pocket?
was my medal for placing first in Cup Tasters Prelims.
Oh,
Yeah.
a first place medal.
Yeah.
Round of applause. Hold for applause.
Let's get it.
everybody. That's so sick. You are, good job.
Thank you.
You are our first champion outside of, actually, we got 3 champions sitting at this table
You
right now.
know, aside from me and Jared, you're the
You're the
first
only
person
other
to earn
champion.
yourself a trophy or a ribbon or anything.
Thank you. Thank you.
Really well done, though. And you've put a shit ton of effort into it, though, leading up to, well, your whole career here has actually been that way, right? And jumping into green coffee, but you put a shit ton of effort into preparation. So, I mean, tell us a little bit about what you did to prepare. For people who haven't
Hold
heard you
up.
on the podcast, like tell a little bit about what your job is first and like how you got there and like what you're doing.
Wait,
And
dude,
Chris
I'm
has
pumping the
something
brakes
else.
on this whole motherfucking thing. Before we do that, which we will get into, we should just talk about Cup Tasters really quick.
Oh yeah,
For someone
sure.
who might not know what Cup Tasters is. Could you just break down the Cup Tasters competition?
Yeah. So the Cup Tasters competition is kind of one is not like the other. 3 cups, 2 coffees. 2 cups have the same coffee. 1 cup has a different coffee. And there's 5 groups of those coffees. You guess which one is different in 5 minutes. So accuracy comes first, and then time comes second if there's a tie.
Right. So we would call that a triangulation if you're in the industry. So your job is to step up to this table where there's these
5 coffees.
5 coffees grouped in 3, taste all 3 of any group and say like, oh, this is the different one.
Exactly.
That's the different one. And what makes one different than the other? Do you know
So
how they do that?
They don't tell you anything about the coffee.
They don't tell you
it's kind
anything.
of the prerequisite. They don't tell you what process, what origin, what roast level. They kind of just give you parameters with the rules and regulations. And yeah, so it's all based on tiny differences. For this particular cupping that I had, it was there's might have been something natural in there. There's something fruity. There was something acidic. There was one that had a slight roast finish to it, so slight variations in a coffee. Not sure how they make it though.
Yeah.
But
It could be anything at the end of the day, right? And
Yeah.
and that's the difference is, yeah, like you said, they could have added a drip of some, whatever, a malic acid to one of them, or they could have a different coffee or slightly underdosed or whatever the case may be. Like, that's kind of the fun of it. So first things first, if you got them all 5 right, that's really good. But if somebody else got 5 of them right faster than you, they would win.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so you won by what score?
so I got 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
And my time was 2 minutes and 51 seconds.
Nice.
So-
And the next closest to you was also 4 out of 5, but longer time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
That's really awesome.
yeah, and then after that it was 3 out of 5 with a really fast time.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. You went too fast, but they didn't get them all right.
Slow down.
Slow down, Mace. You're killing them. So did you? Okay. Tell me, like, well, I guess we can go back now. So I mean, people, if they don't follow us on the internet and they haven't seen you, and maybe not seen you in some of our videos, right? What do you do here? Who are you,
Who
Dulce
am I?
Latte?
Who am I? That's the question I ask myself every day.
Every day.
Who am I? No, but so basically I came in as a concierge, moved up to barista, I had a great time there, and I was looking for something more both in my life and at work. And we were growing as a company, and we were growing the green coffee department, and Chuck and Grace, I remember, were the ones that were like, yo, come join the green coffee team. And I'm like, oh my God, I love Grace. Freaking love her. And well, Chuck is just like, I've always just, he's someone that I was like, oh, he makes it happen. I don't know anything about him. I remember a few weeks before, I was like, so Chuck, how did you get where you're at now? And he shared his story, and I was like, wow, I want to be there one day.
Yeah.
And then 2 months later, like I said, Green Coffee opened a position as a green coffee coordinator. I applied, and it was like any other interview. It wasn't like any other interview I've ever had. He was kind of like, tell me about yourself. And that was an opportunity for me to just tell them where I've been in coffee. And he gave me the chance. Him and Grace gave me the chance, and I got the job. I was like, oh my God, I'm here. I'm doing it. I got a big girl job. So I did that. And yeah, I've been in the green coffee world for 2 years now. And what I do now is I do some quality control with Mark and Andre and Soren. We do kind of that situation. And I kind of keep the relationships we have as with our producers, with our friends, with our best friends. I kind of stay in touch with them. I stay in touch with our importers and our exporters, and I kind of do inventory for the roastery, as well as some sample roasting in the little machinery. And yeah, I cup a lot of coffee.
Hell
Taste
yeah.
a lot of coffee. Meet a lot of people. It's been a great opportunity.
Yeah, dude.
Thank you, Cat and Cloud. I don't know if you've heard of them, but they're pretty freaking great.
I mean, thank you, Dulce. Yeah, so you do a lot of relationship management, quality control, and inventory management. It sounds like if you were to like break that down, and it's been cool to see your progression. I've got to go to Origin with you a couple times now, and you've always been a sponge and also a trooper. Like just bring it on. Whatever we're doing. And that's been sick to see. And yeah, I appreciate that. It's been really cool.
I made a little video. It's on my YouTube channel where I just kind of followed you around when I was filming you doing the QC cupping. And it's cool to watch because you're really managing the table really well. You're going really, really fast and with a lot of intention just in the setup. And I like that and I appreciate it. It's really fun to watch, to see someone who you can tell they're really good at what they do and they're not just kind of floating around. They're working with a purpose.
Yeah, you do.
It's refreshing.
It's quite fun. I think that's what, this company does that to you. Just like,
well, I appreciate it.
What made you want to even throw your hat in the ring and compete in something like Cup Tasters?
I originally wanted to do barista competitions. And I remember talking to Mark, and it's like, how do we do this? And he's like, you got to work your ass off for this. You got to work. I don't know if that's a bad word.
You're allowed. You can say whatever you want.
Say whatever you want.
You got to work really hard. And I was like, okay, like, I think in an effort, like, I got this. And just the more I dove into barista, the more I realized that I might not have all the tools yet. And that's something I need to work for. And I realized that my palate is my number one asset. And that's something that I can grow in. And it helps me with my position, both in roasting and in quality control. And it's my tool. No one can take that from me. So I was like, let's dive into the competition setting, because I wanted to do more. Like, I wanted to push myself further. And so barista wasn't it. Latte art, I love it, but it wasn't it. And then I learned about Cup Tasters as I was doing the prelims last year, which I didn't really know it was a big thing. Did Cup Tasters at Royal, and I got really nervous, tried all the coffees, and Chuck gave me a shout out. He's like, you did something great. You went into the competition field. And I was like, oh, this is a competition. This is something that I can do. This seems super accessible. This seems like I can do this. So I just, with Chuck alongside with me and my support, he helped me dial in what my training looked like. And every month we've been meeting. We've been talking about how I'm doing. And I think, having y'all support me has been a great help. And why I got into Cup Tasters? Why the fuck not? Nah. But also,
actually,
it's a really fun, like, 5 minutes. So I was there for like 5 days practicing my breathing for 5 minutes of performance.
Yeah.
And that adrenaline, which you have to kind of subdue, was there. It was everything that during high school, when I played sports, it gave me that adrenaline. It gave me that drive. It gave me that passion. And then just to be surrounded by people that feel the same way,
it gets good.
Oh, yeah, it's really good.
Well, there's something about you being self-driven too, right? So like you and Charles, getting the support is a part of that, right? But coming up with a plan.
Hang on,
Hold on,
pause.
we're gonna pause.
Look, dude, on the back of the thing, next day, second day, team expedite ground, hot shots. What is hot shots, dude? Yo, you guys do hot shots or what? You guys fuck with hot shots, bro?
Yeah, we do, dude. Is that okay? So a plan was made, right?
Yeah.
You two calibrated a plan, but at the end of the day, you knew you had to put in the time and effort and work into doing that, right? Charles wasn't going to sit there and cup the coffee.
No.
You were going to have to do that work, and so I just want to commend you for that too. You decided, I want to do this, and you committed to the process, and you knew that was going to be a lot of work. What was it like to practice? What was that practice? What did you do to prepare?
So at the beginning, I did a lot of holistic stuff. I tried to expand my palate and my vocabulary, and that was great. That's a lot of learning experience. It really helps with QC, but it wasn't putting me in that competition zone. So then I started trying to emulate what the competition would look like. So then I changed from doing a cupping to doing a drip coffee and batch brews, and then I changed my ratios. So same coffees, slightly different roasts, and then it was a 60-40 situation. So 60% of one, 40% of the other one, and then the other part, 40% of one, 60% of the other one. And then just trying to find what those slight differences were.
Okay, so you were trying to see,
He's
because
getting
basically the
technical.
blend is the same. You just got a slight percentage variance of what's in what. So that
Really good practice
That's
technique.
really intense
Wise.
practice.
It's
Because
very
the difference
wise to
between
feel
those
like
is
that.
going to be so minimal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just like, what is it? And then I think one of the biggest things too was learning how to focus, stay focused. Because after 4 cups, I'd be like, wow, look at that bird. Oh shit. Okay, gotta go back. And then just honing in my focus again, like really talking to myself and realizing why I want this. Is it important for me? And the dedication that I have to put into it. So yeah, did that, and then right before competition, I really cleaned up my diet, really stayed away from a lot of foods and sugars and grease, and absolutely like no smoking. Everything was just had to be clean.
Dude, true
And
competitor.
so
That's what's up.
That is like legitimately, you're speaking to what the stuff that we would do as well in the barista competitions.
I was telling her, we were talking before you got here, and I was saying that that's what Ben did, something like that, where he was
Kaminsky,
just
yeah.
eating plain crackers and plain chicken for a week or 2 or something like that,
Yeah.
leading up to Cup Tasters.
It's cool. I mean, you're cleansing, you're getting everything to be hypersensitive, right? You're going to
Yeah.
notice. I mean, I'll never forget, too. I did like that month of keto where you don't eat more than 30 grams of carbs a day. And stuff that was like dried peas would be so sweet tasting. There'd be things that were just like through the roof with flavor because your
Exactly.
body gets kind of used to these things or like and recalibrates. It's interesting. But the same thing, too, those nuances, right? The way you were practicing 60-40, 40-60, same coffee, different, roast profiles. Those are the really small nuances that we would lean into looking at when we were doing barista competition through our espresso, right? Like that's also part of the reason that we even invented the 1-in-1 is to say, yo, like in competition, you're going to be pulling this coffee. And at the time, you weren't pulling it like some people now currently, right? They'll change their doses for espresso to cappuccino and they'll mess with it like that. At the time when we got into it, that wasn't really the case. You're pulling your whatever, we'll call it a 20-gram shot with like a 38-gram output at X amount of time. And so our job was to make sure that it tasted nuanced and amazing as an espresso, but then that translated to the highest scoring cappuccino too, right? And something, at least to us, that people oftentimes don't recognize is like maybe the best tasting espresso on its own doesn't always translate to the best tasting cappuccino, and you maybe have to like calibrate just a smidge to find that nuance to get, your 5 to 5.5 on both levels versus like a 5 and a 4. So that stuff is really fun, and I geek out on that too. It's a really, really cool thing. It also trains you to be a true professional. Like your palate really comes up a level,
Did you find that the differences that you were doing for your training, those differences, were they more easily noticeable or less easily noticeable than what you faced in the competition? Were the variances pretty close, or?
So there's a few cups where they were completely different. So I felt like one was washed and one was natural. That's how different I thought they were.
Okay.
Super clear.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, you gotta relax though. We're not excited. Focus. So some of them, yes. There's another one where it was slightly more roasted, and I think when I tasted that cup, tasted the same, but when one of them tasted a little slightly roasted, it turned something on for me that I was like, oh, we're back at home. We're back in the roastery practicing. And so slightly differences, but I think there was different coffees in each triangulation.
Are they getting progressively harder from cups 1 through 5, or is it not set up like that?
I don't know
Does every round
anything
get
about
harder?
the setup,
Okay.
but I feel since, after trying it so often, your palate gets a little fatigued, at least for mine, that at the 5th cup, you really got to focus and you got to stay in it. So I'm not sure it gets faster. I did ask if I could start at the end and then go forward instead of starting first with the first cup. And they're like, it doesn't matter. You can start inward and outward. So I don't think they make it
not like
harder.
that.
There's no progression there that way.
I'd wondered if they do it like that, or maybe increase difficulty round to round.
I'm
To where
imagining
in
it would
finals
be
round,
the next, like,
the
step,
nuances are
it'll probably be
smaller.
smaller and harder. If they don't, they're missing an opportunity.
Cup Tasters is wild because it's arguably the only legit competition out of all of them where there's almost no subjectivity to it. Like you either picked the right cup or you didn't, you know?
I like that about it.
So on one end, it's maybe not as exciting to watch as a barista competition. There's not as much performance aspect to it, but you own the whole outcome of it to where if you got them all right, you got them all right and you're a champion. And if you got them all wrong, it's like, oh shit, they didn't get any of them right. That feels pretty scary to someone like me, you know?
There's no way you'd get them all wrong.
Probably not, but still, it's like a very personal. I could see it being a very personal feeling, like how you're talking about. Okay, this is a skill set that I've honed. Basically, my ability to taste coffee is at the core of my entire job here at Cat Cloud. Right? I'm sample roasting, doing QC. I'm a huge piece of that puzzle of coffee getting to the guests and them being like, "Yeah, this is awesome. It tastes good." And to put that skill on stage, to just put it out there for everyone to see, like, this is how well I do my job, even though of course you can get nervous and do worse than you normally would do in real life. There's all kinds of things, but I don't know, it just feels really personal.
There's no judges besides the timekeeper,
right?
It's
right.
Just like you and the time
dot or no dot.
Super. Hell yeah, it's like
dot tells
Minesweeper.
the truth, dude.
Mouth Minesweeper, dude.
Minesweeper, where you're doing really good and then the whole thing goes
That'd be the best joke ever. The last one is just barbecue sauce. You're just cruising through, and then you're like, "Wah!" Anyways, that's a prank to be played in the USCC, whatever championship.
What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. If you're listening to this in real time, we've got a very special coffee available on our website. It's from our good friend, Benjamin Paz, who is kind of the gatekeeper to all of our relationships in Honduras. We've talked about him before. We've even had him on the podcast. Super amazing guy who does a lot for his community. And he also grows his own coffee. So this particular one is from his farm. It's a geisha variety. Geisha is really delicate, really intricate. It's just its own experience. If you've never had a coffee that, transports you to a magical place that makes you feel like you're sitting on an island drinking a tropical beverage, this is that coffee. You can get it now. Go to catandcloud.com and you'll see a banner just smiling at you, enticing you to come inside and taste the rainbow. All right, let's get to the podcast.
What was the whole event like?
It was Yeah. So as Cup Tasters going on, the latte art prelims were going right next door. And then just getting to meet people from Dallas and getting to meet some people that are themselves trying to push their company, their team, and finding those people that already have established, knowledge. They're just getting into it. They're like, this is my first time competing. This is my first time doing this. And that applied to Cup Tasters as well. And then just getting to see people start in square one and push themselves out there. And that really, I felt that because it's like, you can do it. And I believe you can. And they gave me so much praise for being one. And it doesn't feel as shitty as taking last place.
Sure.
Because that's what I did a few months ago.
Oh, did you then? Say that one more time for the people.
I got last place 2 months ago.
And then I went in 2 months, and what happened?
I got first place. Yes.
Just making sure we all heard that.
Yeah, and then just seeing people motivate themselves and, like you said, drive themselves, and that, I think that was the best part because that's the coffee culture. That's the coffee community. There's people that really care about their craft, and being surrounded by that. And, I am surrounded by it here.
But that's
it's a culture here, but being there and they're like, we fucking care. We want to be the best. It's like, wow.
It's really fun.
Yeah.
I feel you hard on that. It's hard to describe for people who haven't been to it, but there's something really special about being around people who care about this as much as you. Because I think for me, we have a group of people who really do care about this as well, but it also is a lot of people who are coming along and learning about it. There, it's like we have great people who want to invest in hospitality here and are interested in coffee, and they do a great job. But there, it's like, I'm here specifically to try to become a coffee nerd.
Yeah. You can be
I can talk about anything as much as I want there, and you're not going to be you're not going to see somebody glaze over.
Yeah.
They're always going to keep getting into it with you, and there's something, you get energy back from that.
Yeah.
Where here, it's like, in my life, people ask you a question and I have to automatically go, okay, what's like the response that you actually want to hear, not the response I could give you. And then I have to try to feed them enough to be like, do they want to hear more? Or was that all they wanted? And are they already tuning out? You know, so to be able to be at a place where you can just like speak frankly about your vibes, about coffee and your interests and your knowledge is so fun.
Well, I think there's a couple things there, because one of the things that I'm noticing lately is that the more we give and the more we share, the more I find people are ready to receive that.
Internally, I agree.
Internally,
in our
no matter how geeky it is, for sure. And then that's one thing. But then there is something about, you could be a great employee and have no desire to put coffee at the center of your existence.
And that's
right?
okay for
And that's
us.
totally cool.
Yeah.
Like, you could come in, make guests happy, make awesome espresso,
Yeah.
and then go do whatever else you're going to do. And that's great.
Yeah.
And then there's a different level of engagement where you have this group of people who are self-selecting that are saying, I want this to be something a little bit more. I want this to be more deeply woven into the fabric of my existence. And you get a bunch of people like that together, and the energy is crazy.
Bouncing off
it's
the wall.
amazing. Yeah. And that's why it's so rare, you know. I think that's why when you go to something like SCA or something like the prelims, I don't know if you felt like this, but whenever I come back from something like that, I kind of have those summer camp withdrawals, because you've been living at this high energy plane, like, oh my gosh, everything's just buzzing, and then you come back to your regular life and you're just like, who wants to
nerd out?
Yeah, who wants to talk about this stuff?
Yeah.
Who wants to create something with me?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I agree.
You just want to do it again as quickly as possible.
And then
So what's the next step?
what's the next step? It's gonna be training harder. We got qualifiers. They're gonna happen in around January.
Okay.
And
And do you automatically qualify for winning, correct?
I automatically get a spot there. Yes.
Got it. Wait, okay, so wait, let me ask that differently. My assumption is that, so you have now qualified for the qualifiers, or are you automatically into the big show?
Qualifiers.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So walk us through how that works for the people
Yeah, for sure.
who don't understand this at all.
So to get to qualifiers, you either go through the prelims, and they did 3 this year. You can try for as many as you like, but if you get first, second, or third on any of them, more than one, your spot is given up to someone else, just because you can only have one spot in the qualifiers. Then if you don't make any of the prelims, you go to open registration, where everyone is welcome to go.
Like a
It's
lottery?
Okay. Yes, it's kind of like you're buying a concert ticket, first come, first serve situation.
Okay, first come, first serve.
But we don't have to go through that whole stress of like, did I get a ticket? Did I get a seat? Did I get a table?
Okay.
We go to qualifiers.
Got it.
Yeah. And then
from qualifiers, you would hopefully qualify
yeah.
for the U.S. championship, like the big show.
Yeah, the
if
big
you will.
show. So
Okay.
so registration is open to 90 people,
Got it.
and 8 of them are gonna make it out of those 90 people into regionals.
Okay, and you're one of the 8.
I'm one of the 90.
Got it.
Okay, so
That's-
it's like
see, that's-
it's
yeah, so it's a little
prelims,
different than it used to. That's why I'm
qualifiers, regionals, and then the U.S.
Mhm.
That's
Okay, so
okay.
there's a lot
Got
more steps than there
And
used
so
to be.
for you, since you went to the prelims, there's no stress that you'll get left out of that pool of
Exactly.
90. Like, oh my gosh, am I going to get a spot?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
People
Hey.
probably buying bots to
Yeah,
get them
exactly.
in.
People are
It's like they're buying the shoe drop. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
I got a system of
Like
bots. It's going
ChatGPT,
to
how
register
do
my
I?
whole team,
Yeah.
Just for
Cup
me.
Tasters, just for me.
Got
That's-
it. Okay, so that is
so-
in January, you said,
Mhm,
correct? Where's
mhm.
that?
They haven't released it yet.
Okay, so
but
we're
it
looking
might
for a
be-
sponsor
yeah.
city.
Still.
Cool.
I think they might have something.
And that's one, or is
It's
there
one.
multiple?
I think
Just
there's
one?
2.
Okay, there's 2. So there'll
45
probably
and
be
45.
okay.
Yeah.
So there'll be a semi-east and a semi-west.
Yeah, I
Is
don't
my
know.
guess.
I don't know. But
Yeah, that's how they'll probably split
best
it.
guess.
And then they'll have the big show, which is at Expo, correct?
Yep.
And
Yep.
where's Expo this coming year? Do you remember?
Chicago.
Chicago.
14th, 15th.
I want to go to that.
I've never been to
Chicago's
Chicago,
awesome.
so it's freaking my time. I haven't been to an Expo since
Let's go to Chicago.
before
dude.
COVID-19 SARS. I miss you guys.
Before SARS.
Before SARS came through again.
Pre-SARS. How did it feel when they called you as a winner, knowing that you had tried before, didn't do as well as you wanted, and then you put in all that work, and the work's real? Like, I would see you in the lab after hours or before the meeting, just kind of diving in. How did that feel?
Ah, it felt surreal. So like, yeah, it felt surreal. That's the first time that I've won anything in coffee, first place like that. And I was like, holy shit, like I put in the work, like everyone said, I put in the work, I put in the dedication, but to see results after being last a few months ago, it's just like, wow, like I can do it. And I think one of the biggest things was the support that I got coming back when I was last. Cause it freaking sucked going last. It's like, wow, like I worked so hard and this is what I got. But coming back and having that reassurance that, just keep trying, just keep going, just try a little harder, learn those were learning opportunities for you. Come in, dial it in a little better, and you gotta see results, right? You put in the work, you gotta see something. Um, it felt surreal. It felt like I was representing Cat and Cloud the way that I wanted Cat and Cloud to be seen. And it's a fucking awesome company to work for.
Oh,
I don't not just because
thank
y'all are
you.
here, but like culturally, internally, the biggest question that I was asked when I was on my trip is like, is it just as great inside as we see it from the outside? I was like, fuck yeah, it is. It's fucking amazing. 3 years and with no specialty, what do you call it? No specialty background. So I've been in coffee for 4, specialty for 3, 4 years compared to people that have been in decades. And the internal growth that I felt for the business and personally, it's amazing. And the
Juicing me
biggest
up
thing
right
for
now.
me, yeah, no, the biggest thing for me was like, fuck yeah, like I get to represent Cat and Cloud. They're number one. They're fucking amazing. And I hope that everyone sees that we're not just, you know, showing that we're great. It's like internally, we're working to be better every single day. We're working to be better with our mission. We dialed in our mission, we dialed in our values, and we have staff meetings with everyone, and it's just fucking amazing that I get to represent this company, and I think that was the best thing, and that I have y'all support, and it was I'm not alone, and this is our win. This isn't my win.
Damn,
This is for us.
politicking over here like a boss.
Because
It's
I
really
did use
cool to
all your
hear.
Thank
coffee.
you.
Nah, I just
This is
I really
really
appreciate it.
It's really nice to hear. It's
and
just from my perspective as a business owner, the some days you come in and you're really excited and you feel like the thing that you've created is working exactly how it's supposed to. And then some days it feels like a little defeating because you're like, I don't know if anybody really gets it. I don't know if, the work is landing or if people are feeling like it's as awesome as
They
we
care
want it
as
to
much as we
be.
do.
Yeah. And then just to hear the positive feedback, because we don't hear it that much,
As owners,
We-
you almost never get the positive
almost
feedback
n-
from your team.
Right.
You'll get it from people outside.
You'll get it from a guest
Yeah.
or, people. It's like, oh, I really love what you guys have built. But it's really rare to have someone on the team say like, hey, I really appreciate this place that you've created and I love being a part of it. So when we do get to hear it, it's super special. So thank you for saying that. Like it
Thank you.
really means a
Yeah,
lot.
It really does.
thank you for putting in the work. And
You put
I
yourself
mean, you
to
put the
Come
work
on.
in. You got
Let's
that win
go.
all on your own.
Oh,
we
thank you.
we gave you a canvas.
And I think that's cool because one of the cool things about putting in the work is, there's some amount of validation that comes with getting the trophy, or the medal, where it's, I got first place, I put in the work, but the work doesn't always guarantee that you're going to get that, especially when you go up and go deeper and deeper and are competing against more competitive people. So my kind of mindset, which it seems like you have embodied, is put in the amount of work so that when you're done with the whole process, no matter where you ended up, whether it's first, third, fifth, or sixth, you feel comfortable with what you put in and you're saying like, yeah, I did my best. And as long as you've done that, like truly done it, then you're good. But what you don't want to do is put in some sort of marginal effort and be like, be at the end of the day, you got third or fifth, and you're like, man, I really could have put in a little bit more. I could have had a couple different practices. I could have done this different. Like, that's a bad feeling to, not be where you want to be. But if you, whether you got first or third, if you put in the work that you're proud of, that's the juice right there.
Yeah.
Like, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, I'll never forget because I got last in my first competition as well, but I also didn't put in the time or effort into, and I didn't know also. There's a little bit of that, but still, I got there and I wanted to do well, and then I got last place. And I was like, oh damn, and then you get ignited, and you're like, okay, there's levels to this. This is all the space I have to learn, how much time and effort I need to put into this for next time. And from then on, it was a consistent progression towards winning. So it's definitely that feeling of going from like, to, it can either ignite you, right? It can ignite you to like, okay, cool. This is what I have to learn. This is what I can do to do better. Do I believe that I can compete on this level? And it's like, for you, that's a badass turnaround. 2 months? Major congratulations. Like, you put in some good work. That also leads me to believe that you were already pretty good at this concept. There's no way you learn to taste coffee in 2 months on its own. But stuff happens, and you probably learn the score sheet, you practice, all those other things that you did to prepare took you there, and it's well deserved.
Did you feel less nervous this time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt less nervous because, again, so my only goal was to get 2 out of 5. That was it. Like, I just need to be better than I was last time.
Okay.
That was my only goal. And I know I put in the work. I know I tried my best. Like you said, like, I gave it my all. Let's see where we're at. And I had to have a lot of grace for myself that regardless of where I stood, there was going to be a learning opportunity for me somewhere. And I went in. I was like, cool, let's do it. It's time to shine. And I was reading a lot. So one of the things that I struggled with was my focus. And even for latte arts, like, I always shake, and I've told you all, like, how do you freaking do it? And just having that confidence that I have the resources to pursue this challenge, and just telling myself that. And then it's something turned on, just like when you're about to compete. Like, so I used to do basketball in high school, and I was really competitive. And having that routine, like Chuck said as well, is like, have your routine before, just go on, just turn on, forget everyone else. This is you. And that's what I did this time. And going in, I was really comfortable. I didn't feel rushed. I didn't care about what they were doing. Someone called times, like, fine, whatever. I'm here to do me. And so it did feel more comfortable. It did feel better. It's
pretty cool. That's super cool to hear. Yeah, I'm super proud. That's really rad. And dude, come on, bro. I got to say this.
Oh, the people who did the Instagram?
The people who did the podium. What's going on? So I was in LA, and I'm getting these notifications, and I'm like, oh, shit, Dulce's on the podium. And they had you off to one side. And I couldn't find the results. I was scrolling through online, and they weren't posting them fast enough.
About the winners at all.
There was no. It just had the 3 people,
yeah.
And I was just like, "Oh, she got second or third," because everybody knows that the fucking winner goes in the middle. The winner goes in the middle, and I couldn't believe they put you on the side. I was just like,
oh,
what?
I just got third because it goes first typically. Yeah, in every podium, it's tops first.
Yeah.
To the left is silver,
and then
to
down
the right
is bronze. Yeah.
And that's like. Yeah, so I was like, oh, great place. And then you get home and it's like, oh, you won?
Oh, you won.
Oh, yeah, because there isn't any hard post. There's one for Brewers Cup. It's like not even the barista winners, not even anybody else. No latte, just Brewers Cup gets all the cred, and then everybody else was there.
It's pretty funny. I was just like, oh, shit.
Anyways, you got an opportunity there.
Winner.
You got a big opportunity.
I mean, third place is awesome, too, but that was just
happy for you
that was extra surprise.
Yeah,
that was extra surprise.
Yeah, I was already proud at third. It was just a fun surprise to see that gold medal, dude. Dropping
Get the
it
podium right. Full. Come on.
It was nice, though. I got to see y'all's reactions. Like, oh, you didn't just get in.
No, you got in, dude.
You were in.
Well, thanks for hanging with us and sharing with everybody today.
Thanks for having me in today.
Thank you really appreciate the love.
Thanks. Thank you all.
Good game, everybody.
Good game.
Be out there. See you at the qualifiers.
See you at the qualifiers.
5 out of 5.
Tap out, dude. ...
Hey everyone, that's the podcast for the week. Thanks so much for listening. If you heard something that inspired you, let us know, or tell a friend. These are the types of connections that are the most important to us and that we seek to create every day. If there's something you heard and you want to know more about, send us an email to podcast@catandcloud.com or head to our website, catandcloud.com/podcast, and let us know. While you're on our site, check out everything we have to offer. Dive deep into one of our single origin coffees or pick up a little treat for yourself. We have something for everyone, so check it out. Also, find us in the usual places, YouTube, Instagram. We're always there sharing amazing things. All right, that's it. Thanks everyone for being awesome. We'll be back next week.